వినిపించును.
पुण्य बिहारी जय राधा माधव पुण्य बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavindra ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Sri Radha Krishna Gaur Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridhavan ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Shri Gurudev, all glories to Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, can you hear me, please? Okay. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you. All glories to you, all glories to Gurudev, all glories to Shri Prabhupada. You're welcome, Maharaj.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So I think we're going to put the verse on the screen and you may start.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Sarakayam Chakshulam Militam Jana Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Tapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yuttapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Siri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Sabadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devan Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhana Sute Devi Pranamame Hari Priya Ponchakal Pataru Vyascha Kripa Sudhivya Vacha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadara, Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13. Dhritarashtra quits home. Text number 22. Anda Puraiva Badiro Manda Pragyascha Sampratam Visirna Dhandu Mandagni Saragakam Kapham Adwahan Anda Puraiva Vidpadai Diro Manda Pragyascha Sampatam Visirna Danta Mandagni Saraga Kapham Adwahan Anda Puraiva Vadiro Manda Pragyascha Sampratam Visirna Dantun Mandagni Saraga Kapham Udwahan. Andaha, blind. Pura, from the beginning. Eva, certainly. Badiraha, hard of hearing. Manda pragya, memory shortened. Cha, and. Sampratam, recently. Visirna, loosened. Dantaha, teeth. Manda agnihi, liver action decreased. Saraga, with sound. Kapham, coughing with mucus. Udwahan, coming out. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. You have been blind from your very birth. And recently you have become hard of hearing. Your memory is shortened and your intelligence is disturbed. Your teeth are loose. Your liver is defective and you are coughing up mucus. Purport. The symptoms of old age, which I had already developed in Dhritarashtra, were all one after another pointed out to him as warning that death was nearing very quickly. And still, he was foolishly carefree about his future. The signs pointed out by Vidura in the body of Dhritarashtra were signs of apakshaya, or dwindling of the material body before the last stroke of death. The body is born, it develops, stays, creates other bodies, dwindles, and then vanishes. But foolish men want to make a permanent settlement of the perishable body and think that their estate, children, society, country, etc., will give them protection. With such foolish ideas, they become overtaken by such temporary engagement and forget altogether that they must give up this temporary body and take a new one. Again, to arrange for another term of society, friendship, and love. Again, to perish ultimately. They forget their permanent identity and become foolishly active for impermanent occupations, forgetting altogether their prime duty. Saints and sages like Vidura approach such foolish men to awaken them to the real situation. But they take such sadhus and sent as parasite of society, and almost all of them refuse to hear the word of such sadhus and saints, although they welcome sure-borrowed sadhus and so-called saints who can satisfy their senses. Vidura was not a sadhu to satisfy the ill-gotten sentiment of Dhritarashtra. He was correctly pointing out the real situation of life and how one can save himself, one can save oneself from such catastrophes. That is the aim of the Prabhupada's purport to text 22, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, entitled Dhritarashtra Quit Home. My respectful obeisances to all the devotees present. We have a very powerful doctor here. Very powerful doctor, Dr. Vidura Mahatma. The doctor's business is not to flatter the patients. Their duty is to do the needful, what to help those to cure the diseased patients. So Vidura is such a powerful doctor, a spiritual doctor, who knows the disease and he has a perfect medicine. Not just perfect medicine. He knows the perfect doses to cure the disease. And he giving it here perfectly without considering if the patient is feeling pain or not feeling pain. Vidura does not consider that. He is simply concerned with his duty, how to make it work. In my village, there used to be one boon doctor. This boon doctor, if no matter the dislocations we have, he is able to fix it. But when he is doing his job, he cannot hold his hand because of the pain he will feel. He cannot hold his hand. It's an offense to hold his hand. If you hold his hand, he will pay fine. He will charge you because you're impeding his service. But everybody knows how it is very painful to give a massage to a broken by hand. So we see our Acharya Vidura Mahatma like that, one who does not compromise. And he's ready to do his duty without any impediment. So here is pointing out to his brother, Dhritarashtra, who is blind. Anda puraiva bhadiro. You are blind right from birth. We are blind from birth. Anda is blind. Anda kupam, like we have a hair called anda kupam. Anda kupam, blind well. The well does not have water inside. So Vidura using the word here, anda puraiva bhadiro. You are blind from the birth. Because Dhritarashtra's mother lost her husband. She was young. She's young. So the family members desiring to have to continue the lineage is a prime concern for every enlightened people, very cultural person. All important acharya, they always look for succession. It's a prime concern. You see in history, all our Sattira kings, they always look for somebody who will represent them. That's the prime necessity for all leaders. The leaders who are not working towards a succession, they are blind and they're not leaders. They are dangerous. Anyone who is in position but is not looking towards who is going to succeed me when I leave is a blind leader. Is not a leader. He's an expansion of Dhritarashtra. Anyone who is not looking for, okay, today I'm here. Who is going to take over after I'm gone? A leader who is not looking for that is not a leader. He has come purposely to close down the mission. It's an expansion of Dhritarashtra. So the elders, they got together. We need somebody to continue this process. Who is going to do it? Bismadev? No, he is a brahmachari, so he cannot do this service. So who else can do it? Okay, Yesterday is a householder. So you should come and do it. So Yesterday agreed. So he came. He came to meet the woman, because Vyasadeva has Bhagwan Vyasadeva. He has the body. His body is black, and the woman was not so interested in him. So she closed her eyes out of fear, because she was not happy, she was afraid, but because it's a custom, so she has to follow that. So she agreed that Yesterday we can unite with her, but she closed her eyes. Because she closed her eyes, and means that she doesn't welcome this union, this relationship. But because she has to do this service, she didn't do it from her heart. The consequences was that Dhritarashtra came out blind. So his blindness was not just a physical thing. His blindness is both physical, mental, and spiritual. So Vidura is telling him here, you are blind from birth. Right from birth, you come out blind. Physically, you are blind. Spiritually, you are blind. Mentally, you are also blind. This is a very big disease for you. Wonder pragya. Your memory is also very, very, very bad. Along with your hearing, very bad. Very bad. Very bad. Some time recently, this Sirna, your teeth are loosened. Your teeth cannot function again, even though you have the interest to eat, but you cannot do that now, because where is the teeth to chew the food? You don't have the teeth. You don't have, look at everything about it is falling apart. Everything, just like our body. Our body is doing the same thing. Everything in this material, that's how it goes. Everything in this material has a beginning and end. They undergo 6 changes. Every material things in this world, either it's human body or all machines in this world, they have the beginning and the destination. 6 changes. You're born, okay. It's had to develop, it's growing, okay. The same thing with everything, the same thing. The microphone before your mouth is it is going like that. and a big mansion behind you, the same thing. What will happen? The computer before me is the same thing. Even our own body is going the same way. Everyone has to undergo this thing. It is a fortune for someone to realize this and start working for it. But our experience in the material here is that majority of people do not know this. Lokasha Adananta. General mass of people do not know. We're ignorant. We're foolish. Therefore, we need a bona fide teacher to come and dismantle this darkness in our consciousness, because it's very, very deep. When you look around the world, what do we see? People are living their life without preparation. There's no preparation for anyone, even including most of us who are so to say, fortunate to have come to Christian consciousness. No preparation for death. No preparation. We are simply living to die without preparation. What is the preparation for many people? We're seeing so many devotees living the body angry. Many devotees are living the body angry, frustrated, lamenting. Why? Because we did not prepare before this time. The result is anger, or lamentation, or frustration. So here we see the Srasra is the symbol of a materialistic person who does not prepare before death comes. But he is so fortunate that he has a brother who can teach him this. So the title of this chapter is what Dhritarashtra quit home. Vidura's word is so sharp, so straight, so powerful that it penetrated and destroyed the ignorance. And he acted on it. He acted on it. So we should not look at only the Srastra, that is, he is living such a life. Vidura is pointing out to him. Your memory is shortened, and your intelligence is disturbed. Your teeth are loose, your liver is defective, and you are coughing up mucus. So this is a sign, it's a warning. It's a warning for everyone, everyone. When one starts having gray hair, you should understand. When the gray hair is coming, you should understand, oh, Krishna is so kind and he's giving me the sign. Arthritis is coming, all the joint pains are there, all joint pains. You can get all the varieties of medicine from all over the world. You can get them, either allopathy, homeopathy, you can get all the parties all put together. It's all a big mistake. The sign is Krishna is telling us, just look carefully and see what is happening. Get ready. That is the sign. Not to get this and get that. I'm not saying it's not go to hospital. You know the point. I'm not saying you should not go. We should go. We should go with the full mind. And yes, this is a sign. As I'm also going to see doctor, I should not forget the other doctor, Vidura with instruction. I should not forget that, because that's the most important doctor. This doctor is not only just to diagnose my bodily problem, but he's also diagnosing my spiritual problem, which is the main problem. So we should not forget to hear from Vidura. The prime need in human society, Christian consciousness, to hear this. Don't go to the parties and waste our time. They're going to take the money and give this and give that and put you. I saw some devotees. I have a very big bag, bigger than my handbag. It's all full of medicines, varieties of medicine inside. Without getting the real message. The real message is not just a bag of medicine, varieties of medicine in the bag. I'm going to take like this till the final time. The final time. So we should get prepared. That is the message. Should get prepared. So when the final time comes, you're not going to get angry with anybody. Angry with who? Angry with who? Who asked you not to chant Hare Krishna? Who asked you not to keep the regulative principles? Who asked you not to keep that? So we're angry with who? Angry with who? Who asked you not to chant? Who asked you not to read Bhagavatam every day? Who asked you not to do that? When you see many devotees, they get angry and they leave in the body. But devotees should leave the body like Bhismade, Haridas Thakura, Srila Prabhupada, the Bhakti SWAMI Maharaj, many other wonderful. I also remember His Holiness Gunagrahi Maharaj. The same thing. In the middle of Kirtan. In the middle of Kirtan. That is the way, the best way devotees should leave the body. In the middle of Kirtan, having Lord Krishna physically standing before us, like Bhismade, like Haridas Thakura, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally present. So this Bhismade, Lord Krishna himself was personally present and conducting everything. So they have that fortune. The second part is to have the holy name present for the devotees. These are the ways to fill the body. And for us to have this opportunity, it is now that we have to get prepared. Not just all these plans, all these wonderful plans as if we are going to stay forever. People are working very hard, making a lot of plans how to take care of this body, without considering thinking about what is maintaining this body. The body is going on because of the honor of the body. The occupant of this body is keeping the body working. Like the spirit soul. And who has ever seen that person? And Prabhupada gave us an example of a bird in the cage. The cage is being properly taken care of, but the bird is dying. This is our particular situation in Matrix. Very, very busy, making huge arrangement to take care of the body. Not single plan to take care of the soul. A Bodha Jata, a failure, it's a defeat. But we are fortunate we have DHIRA to give us this vision. DHIRA is giving the vision. My dear brother, listen to me. See what is happening. You cannot see because you are blind. But I have to tell you because I can see. The pure devotees can see our problem. We don't see our problem. But pure devotees can see our problems. They can see. So they are the ones to tell us, to teach us. So we should give our ears to the pure devotees so they can teach us what we need to hear, not what we want to hear. We should not hear from those who want to teach us what we want to hear. We should hear from those who want to teach us what we need to hear. Listen to the Vidura Mahatma. Prabhupada mentioned here. The Vidura was not a sadhu to satisfy the ill-gotten sentiment of Dhritarashtra. He was correctly pointing out the real situation of life and how one can save oneself from such catastrophe. That's the last part of the purport. This is the duty of a bona fide acharya. They will not flatter. They will not flatter us. They will tell us what we need. But that is what is needed. They will give us what we need. Otherwise, they will consider themselves a failure. They didn't do their duty perfectly. All right. So we'll listen to Vidura and we'll get all the necessary things. The instruction is very, very clear. And working like the Dhritarashtra is going to act upon the instructions that his wonderful brother gave to him, and he became successful. Similarly, we take this opportunity, hearing from Vidura, working on them, and also perfect our life in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you so much for the class. Very sweet, yet very sharp. It cuts through a lot. So, dear devotees, please, if you have any question for Maharaj, please do that by raising your hand, and then Maharaj will take your comments also. Yes, Maharaj is giving room. Kamalaksha Prabhu, please go ahead, unmute and ask your question or comment, whatever. Speak.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. My question is, Hare Krishna. My question is, Vidura was able to instruct the Dhritarashtra, and his words made sense to the Dhritarashtra, and he listened. Why? How can we compare this to Vibhishan talking to Ravan to change and surrender to Lord Ram, and Ravan refused? What's the difference between these two instructions? One person took advantage and the other person refused. What's the difference from two pious persons? Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu. Vidura and who?
Vibhishan. It says Vibhishan and Ravana. Vibhishan advised Ravana. He didn't take it. Vidura advised Dhritarashtra, and he took his advice. What's the difference?
Okay. The difference was that the difference is that Ravana he has a different program. He has a different program. His program is that he has to meet with the Lord 3 times. So his situation is different because he's programmed to meet 3 deaths from the hands of the Lord. Therefore, he couldn't listen to the advice given to him by his brother. But this Rasta doesn't have that program. His program is different. So he is not to leave the body in the hands of the Lord, that the only Lord has to come and meet him for that. So he was able to listen to the Lord and follow that program. We don't have the same karma, so we're not going to work the same way. That is why Ravana didn't follow that. He didn't follow the instruction. In fact, it is said that that all the advice given to this Ravana, he liked them. The only advice he would never tolerate to hear from anybody in his life was give Sita back to Ram. That instruction, that advice, he never listened to it. He never want to hear it from anybody. Because that is destiny. He was destined to be like that. This Rasta doesn't have that situation. If Vidura's word penetrated his heart and he followed it, became a yogi. He performed Ashtanga yoga and he got promoted. That is my little understanding about this.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Maharaj. Kamalaksha Prabhu, I hope you're satisfied with the beautiful answer. So we go to Shukadev Prabhu, please unmute.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much. Hare Krishna Gurudev, thank you very much for the wonderful class. Srila Gurudev, in the course of your discourse, you spoke that it is any leader or any spiritual, all leaders, all kings are always looking for someone that is going to take over from them, or someone that is going to continue from them. And then you said any leader that does not look for a representative, someone to hand over to, is someone that has the mentality of Dhritarashtra. Now, we also understand that a person not wanting to give the position over is also sometimes based on certain choices of the individual. We look into our script, into the life of some of our acharyas like Gorakishora Das, Babaji Maharaj, and Sri Lokanath Thakur. They did not want to have disciples. They chose not wanting to have disciples, but based on the request of some other Vaishnavas and everything, so they decided to go ahead to have disciples. Now, my question is, a person, a leader, a spiritual mentor, or a leader not wanting to have a representative to hand over to, is it not also based on choice? Does it not necessarily have to be based on having a Dhritarashtra mentality? This is my question, David.
Yeah, thank you for your question. Some pure devotees doesn't want to have a disciples because there are also other there are some other people who have Vaishnava's tradition. We have so many other devotees. They have many other devotees to take over. Like Guru Kusada Babaji Maharaj. The other spiritual Bhakti others, they have the disciples who can continue. Right? They can continue the movement. The Vaishnava tradition. They can continue it nicely. But now in our school, this is a society. It is a complete body. And yes, there are so many devotees, and we have so many projects. Therefore, you are representing your guru in a particular project. It is compulsory to train successors. A leader is not considered wonderful even if you are a pure devotee, perfectly complete pure devotee. You are not so wonderful if you don't also make devotee like yourself. All our chariots, you see that mentality with them. All our chariots, they have this mentality of working for success. Why Krishna has to tell you this, Maharaj, please, just dress yourself on a royal regalia. Put yourself on a royal, bring chariot. Let us go in the way that Bhishma Dev will be happy to leave the body. Don't go and present any nonsense thing that will make him to leave the body unhappily. Don't do this. Don't cause anxiety. We should accept the position and go to him so they feel happy to go. This is the duty of a disciple. So Judicial man has to put on the dress, get all the brothers, they all went together on the chariot. When Bhishma Dev, he saw them, tears of joy, not tears from the pain on his body, not tears from anxiety, from fear of quitting the body, the tears of joy that, yes, I have somebody to represent me, was flowing. It immediately entered into the memories of all the difficulties they passed through, and they concluded, how can it is not possible for someone to pass all these difficulties and remain alive like you and your mother. The only reason I could consider, the only reason I have is that you are protected by Dharma, which you follow perfectly. You're protected by the Brahmana, the Vaishnava devotees, and you're protected by Krishna. These three protection is your shelter. That is why you're alive. Otherwise, nobody can have the food in the heart and pass through and remain alive. He concluded, so you're very happy. Now I can leave the body happily. And he left body happily. He left happily. Why? Yeah, somebody, Maharaj Yudhishthira is on throne. He gave him complete instruction how to rule completely from beginning to the end. So that was one good fortune with Yudhishthira Maharaj, that he has a powerful acharya, Bhishma Dev, who instructed him, guided him how to lead from all street dharma, Bhagavan dharma, all this. He gave all the dharmas to him perfectly. how to rule. When he completed that, the top of it all is that Lord Krishna himself was personally guiding and seeing him to the throne. When Krishna saw him to the throne, and also notice that the successor of Yudhishthira Maharaj is Parikshit Maharaj. It is only when Krishna saw this thing complete before he said, okay, now I can go back to my Dwarka. This is the nature of it. So we have projects in our movement. We all having we have a project. We are managing a temple, managing a very project. All of them need succession. We should work towards succession. If we are not working towards that, we are closing down the system. And that is not a bona fide representative. The consequence is too heavy. I don't know how many of us can handle the consequences of not training successors, person to take over from us. The person who put us here, he didn't close it. So if we are representative, we should not close it, we should look for a successor. That should be our anxiety, how to get somebody trained that when we are leaving, we're not going to be in anxiety, we're not going to be in anger, we're not going to be in frustration because we have done our duty, we live happily because we have somebody to represent us.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much,
much,
Maharaj. Thank you so much, Maharaj. That's a very beautiful answer. And we have His Grace Ganga Prashad Prabhu sent up. Prabhuji, please, you may unmute and go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Obeisansi Satyalotu Sit Maharaj, Oglos
Thank you
to
very
Guru
much.
Goranga, Oglos to Srila Prabhupada.
Guy.
Thank you very much for this wonderful elucidation. I have a need of your assistance to improve my understanding on the certain subject matter. One is Maryada Vyatikrama, instructing a superior. Instructing a superior. Vidura is seemingly younger to Dhritarashtra, but he's instructing his superior. So I want to know where is the cutoff point, because seemingly there are many gurus like Loknath Maharaj. He's guru to his father and mother. Loknath Maharaj is guru to his father and his mother. And many gurus also have disciples that are elder to them in terms of age. So I want you to help me reconcile my understanding about this subject matter.
Yes, when the Sukadev Goswami was speaking Bhagavatam, his father was there.
Yeah.
Yesterday was there. Not only his father, his grandfather also was there. Narada Muni was there. Why? Why this is happening? Because Sukadev Goswami has been appointed to speak Bhagavatam. This is his responsibility. Therefore, it was not a Madhyadya Pratikrama violation. They didn't violate because he's appointed to do the service. It is different. This is a different thing when you have a particular service to do. For example, you appointed a temple president. When you have a seniors in that temple, so what will you do? You will refuse to manage because you are. This is a service given to us, so we have to accept it. So now it is left for us. It's left for us. Like it happened to me. I became a temple president at Dukkota, and I have senior god brothers who were there. So what they do? What did they bring a Gilam? I said, give to them first. They give to them first. Hey, it's okay. So yeah, I'm here as the president. That is okay. I still recognize that they will have a senior people here. So give to them. And I'm also doing that, like when I'm outside there in a place where I have so many proper disciples are there, so many sannyas, the household that got their proper disciples, they senior to me. And looking at them, looking at everything, what is happening, I also point, they bring gallant and they give to. I know Tam Prabhu was sitting there, and they brought gallant to give. I said, no, give it to him first. They give it to him, and they feel very happy about it. They feel very happy. So who can do like that? But I didn't refuse the service because, no, I cannot do this because of my. No, it is a service. You have to do that. Similarly, in the case of Vidura, this is his service for his brother. So he did it. So it is not a violation of Ariada Jatika. Just like Sukadev Goswami also, he did a service. Like Sutra Goswami also, he did a service. When he was speaking, when Sutra Goswami was speaking, the Bharadwaj Maharaj, who was there, he has 60,000 disciples who are all sages like him. He's a Kulapani. We have to speak the Bhagavad in their presence. Asuna Karisi, the same thing. It's Kulapani. Yeah, they have the responsibility. So it's a duty. When we have a duty to do, then we have to do it. We don't have to become what is it, so-called sentimental, not doing our duty because of the law. We have to look at the situation. After all, we function according to time, place, and circumstance. This is our measure.
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Maharaj. And I've not asked the question, Maharaj wouldn't have given this answer because I'm really happy with this answer because it affirms what I had told one devotee some time ago. One devotee was asked to give class on this forum, and he was sharing with me that he doesn't think he can speak on this forum because there are so many senior devotees. He cannot speak before senior devotees. So I advised him that no, he should see it as a service. And so, of course, he's been speaking. So thank you very much, Maharaj. Shikadev Prabhu, please unmute.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Just on what His Grace Ganga Prabhu said, what in situations whereby it so happened that, yes, the younger devotee has been given a service, but then the ego of the elder disciple or the elder devotee or the senior does not allow the younger to be able to do the service. Rather, when the younger wants to do the service, the senior tries to beat down the younger. How does the younger devotee or person, how does he function properly in such situation without so as not to be disrespectful to the elder, and also do the service and not go beyond a proper etiquette?
Yes, in the situation that means that the so-called elders are not properly elders. If they are elder, they're supposed to know that yesterday we didn't refuse Sukadev Goswami speaking. Yesterday we didn't do that. He didn't say, I'm the one who gave you Bhagavatam, so how are you going to speak that? He didn't do that. There are also many Srila Prabhupada were training disciples. Sometimes he will give class, he will give the class to the disciple to speak, and he will sit down here. That is a training. Prabhupada did this. It's a training. In the day he did a grand breaking ceremony for Mayapur temple, he invited all his brothers to come. That day, the Prabhupada didn't speak himself. He was there. He invited all the ceremony were being conducted. He didn't speak. So the Prabhupada called his disciple, one of his disciples. And he didn't call the sannyasi. He called like Malati Devi. He called Malati Devi to speak. In that assembly, in that great assembly, all the Mahantas, they were all there. She is very, very tiny. How many years is the movement? And a woman in that matter, in India, not in India. Is that the assembly like that? Proper appointed her to speak. She didn't refuse, oh, Prabhupada, no, I'm too humble. No, Prabhupada, I cannot. She did the service. As she accepted the service, so the Prabhupada empower the heart. But as he said this, he did not start to speak philosophy. If Prabhupada appointed the sannyasi, they're going to go and speak philosophy, which is just theoretical, not realized like his god brothers. Therefore, Prabhupada didn't call the sannyasi disciples. He called Malati Devi. So she spoke. He started to enumerate. And Prabhupada went to America, he did this, he established this temple, he made this, he went to this city, I went to that city, all the things Prabhupada did all over the world, and back to India, he has started this temple in Vrindavan, in Bombay, and other places, and we have traveled, been so many things. She finished all these things, Hare Krishna. Everybody was very satisfied. In the beginning, all the sannyasi were looking at each other, why not me? They don't point themselves, because that's actually what is in their mind. But they didn't say that out. Why not me? Why should be this woman? But Prabhupada didn't make mistake by calling a woman to go and speak. And she spoke perfectly. She did exactly, Prabhupada spoke to her from the heart. So she knew what to say. And she said all that. And it was perfect. The God brothers were very satisfied. They were not angry. They didn't feel bad. They would have felt bad if Prabhupada had appointed one sannyasi to go and speak. Because they're going to go and start teaching them what they should do. So if a senior devotee is necessary and is not allowing the junior person who have been empowered to serve to do, it means that he is not properly situated, because he doesn't know that his duty is to support whoever is there. Because when the person is there, is supported, everything will go well. And he also will be very proud, because the elders, they have the wisdom to give to the young people. So even though they are there in the front, those who are behind, they are the one who does the best thing. The one who does the best thing. If you look very carefully, let's look at it very carefully. In this our body, from the waist upward, what is keeping it? What is keeping this body? From the waist up.
Spinal cord.
In the front or is in the back?
Back.
See? It's in the back. Does he complain why I'm not in the front?
No.
Because he knows the position. In all the food which we take, you have a very powerful soup, a powerful sabji, powerful whatever behind you. What is the most important thing in the soup? Powerful soup, tasty from the experienced cook. What is the most important thing in the soup? The most important. Huh? Salt. Okay. Very good. Thank you. It is salt. So when you are eating the soup, did you see the salt? Do you see the salt? Do we give credit to the salt? We'll give credit to the cook. So it's a powerful cook. It's always very nice subject. Did you say that all this nice salt? We don't say, oh, this is very nice, powerful salt. We say very powerful subject. Who prepared this subject? The credit go to the subject, the credit go to the cook, but the credit doesn't go to the salt. You can put all this with the powerful experience of the cook. If you don't put salt there, it will not be tasty. So we should not forget that we should know this. So we can function properly. So if you have a person who does not function like this, you should know he's not in a person. Then he may present it to other senior devotees to help advise him or her so that things can go well.
Thank you very much, Lord.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. I hope, of course, all our recordings are stored on YouTube, so devotees can go back later to play. Those who are not here personally can go back to watch this tape later on, because this is a very important message we all need to hear and try to practice. Because Maharaj, like you were saying, DHIRA is telling Dhritarashtra, all these signs indicating that death is approaching. And His Holiness Ratat Maharaj gave class some time ago, wherein he said, like when you're driving on the street, you see a traffic light, you see green, yellow, red. Green means go, yellow, it means red is about to come. So red, you stop. So he was saying that from day 1 to day 50, it's green light. Once you hit age 50, you hit the yellow light. And from yellow light to red light, it doesn't take long at all. So and most of us have already hit 50. And if we do not train those behind us, how does the movement move on? So thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you.
Very good.
Anyone else with any question?
No, we don't
Maharaj,
have.
I have one question. I don't know if it's relevant, but we know all these great personalities, they do not support the caste system like it used to be practiced some time ago in India. In fact, some places still practice caste system. Once you are a Brahmin, it means your kids are also automatically Brahmins. So why is it that when it comes to ruling, they still go by their, like Maharaj Yudhishthira, I'm sure could have found a competent person to rule Hastinapur in his absence, but they wanted to have somebody from their own line, which is Maharaj Parikshit, where somebody may say, this is caste system, so Maharaj, please help. What is the difference?
It's not a caste system. Parikshit is a Kshatriya, not a civilian. It's a Kshatriya. Bisa Maharaj is Kshatriya. In a Vedic culture, the Kshatriyas who rule, not civilian. Like today, it's a Shudra government. Democracy is Shudra government. That is why you see things are like this. The Shudra is reading. But what do you think we are going to go? So we should not be surprised that things are going the way it is going because Shudras are in the position. If a Kshatriya is in the position, you don't see things like this. So a Kshatriya has the responsibility to rule. So they maintain that culture. It's not like I'm a doctor, so my child will be automatically a doctor. No. What do we see in Yudhishthira Maharaj? He was trained. He was perfectly trained. Not just that he just put the position. He was specifically trained. That is why Krishna was bent on putting Yudhishthira Maharaj, not DHIRA. Because DHIRA does not have the training. His father was thinking, I am blind, so I couldn't rule. But my son is not blind. But Krishna said, it is not about blindness, it's not blindness. Your own blindness is not just a physical thing. Your son, he doesn't have a physical blindness, but he's spiritually blind, and he hated my devotees, he hated me. So how can he rule? He cannot be a ruler. Yudhishthira Maharaj does not have hatred for even his enemies. So she's a person that should rule. Why? This person should rule because when the person is on the position, everyone is going to be very happy. Rain does not fall in the daytime. Rain falls only in the night, not just falling anyhow. It will fall sufficient. The mineral, the hills will produce all the jewels. You go to the bank of the river, you get all the valuable jewels, all the utensils you get from the river. But today, that is not what is happening. We are dealing with plastics. And if you see someone with a very tiny gold, oh, this person is very, very important, the tiny gold. Oh, but those days, these things are very common things. They're common things, they're all available. They are not something which is which is considered, oh, see, this person is wearing gold and I'm not wearing. It is available for everybody. Everybody was having the opportunity to have this because it is part of life. It's not just something that is for a certain class of people that will bring envy. It is all available for everybody.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Maharaj. Sri Ganga Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
It's always a delight to be in your presence, so tolerate me. I got fascinated by the word that DHIRA was born blind materially, born blind intellectually, born blind spiritually. So that kind of triggered a query in my mind that once Jesus Christ was presented with a child born blind, and they were asking Jesus, is it the sin of the father or the sin of the mother that made this child to be blind? And in case of Dhritarashtra, you said, because of the mother's behavior, he's born blind. So how is he to be blamed for being born blind?
Very good, thank you. For him to be born blind because his mother closed her eyes, because she was not inclined, she was not happy with the personality going to sleep with her. So it cannot just be his mother, because he has the karma associating with that. So everything is perfectly arranged by nature. So it is his fault that he has to be born in a mother that will close eye with the man. The man is going to meet with the mother. So he can have that opportunity. So it is karma. And also to have his 100 son kill that one, it is also his karma, because that is what he prepared for. Like he has to wait for his karma to get 100 children to be slaughtered at once, because of the karma behind him. So it is his karma that he has to come into the family, not just his mother. The mother is just part of the program.
Maharaj, is this also part of the karma that he has to be born and he cannot become king?
Yes.
Just because of blindness?
Yes, not because it's his blindness, it's because of his spiritual blindness. He's spiritually blind. They're going to see, Sukadev Goswami going to type another title, ill-motivated Dhritarashtra. Wow. Not just Dhritarashtra, ill-motivated Dhritarashtra. That is his blindness, that they disqualify him for all those auspicious things.
But my puzzle is, even though he was denied being king because of blindness, when Pandu left the kingdom in his care. So is that not a contradiction? And also, the kingdom was left with him until the war came. Is it not contradicting the same standard that was set, that he's blind, he cannot be king, but he was holding brief as king?
Yes, he's holding brief. His duty is to hold brief, but it's not given to him. If a caretaker is not a landlord, he's a caretaker. His duty is to take care of the building. Anytime the landlord comes and says, I need my thing back, I'm going to change you, he doesn't have the power to say no. I have to give it. And while he was caretaking, look at his mentality. He was not taking care of the children of the family. Bismadev who was taking care of them. That's why they were loyal to Bismadev. He was taking care of them right from the beginning to the time. From the last point, he was taking care, giving them material, martial, and spiritual instruction from beginning to the end. Even to the last point, he leaving the body was still the instruction you do something like that. His master did not do that. Not because he left before the time, it's because of his spiritual blindness. The Prabhupada mentioned in the book of Bhagavad Gita, first verse. Here we can see the political nature of Dhritarashtra. He has separated his own children from the children of his brother. You can see the teaching here. So he had no interest in taking care of his brother's children who were supposed to be taken care. Instead, he was planning how to kill them in so many ways.
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Maharaj, would we be right to say that Dhritarashtra was just acting as a king? He was not a king.
So you see, Vidura called him, Vidura called him a king in chapter 13. Not in 13. In chapter 10. In chapter 10, Vidura called him king, and our child has said this is flattering because he had the desire to be a king. So Vidura called him just to flatter him because he's not a king. He's a flatter. Okay.
Maharaj, I have one question which is not related to the topic of today. If you'll be merciful enough to please help me with this.
So
I understand that the original Mahabharata, which was compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, that did not have any mention of Barbaric, who is the grandson of Bhima. But in today's Mahabharata, there is so much talk about Barbaric. I just want to find out,
about who?
Is it Barbaric? Barbaric was the son of Gatotkacha, who is son of Bhima. And it is said that Krishna met him because he wanted to witness the war. And he had 3 arrows. And it is said that he was so powerful that he was much more powerful than the combination of all the armies of Kurukshetra together, that he could have ended the Mahabharata war in 1 minute. So just a matter of inquisitiveness. I just wanted to find out if it is authentic, because I have narrated the story before, but I also note that it is not found in Srila Vyasadev's Mahabharata. Just like there are some differences in Valmiki's Mahabharata and the present day Mahabharata we have from Tulsidas.
When you look at the Purana, you see so many things are mentioned in many places, not in some places. In some places are mentioned, some places are not mentioned. All the passages are scattered through so many Puranas in different ways.
Okay.
So you get many stories from different Puranas. Like even if you're reading a Ramayana, you see Tulsi Devi account is there, and Valmiki is there. And even presently, you see the commentary, Krishna Dharma is different, Dharma Maharaj is different, and Juna Devotee also. Those they're all different, because they all their charity, they give the way they have their own vision, the way they keep their story. That's the way they're going to present it. So in this way, we have so many accounts with different personalities. So have to search in many places to get all the things. Yesterday, he only took the ones that he only compiled those ones which are connected with what he has to do.
Well, thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, do you plan to come into US this year?
I'm not qualified to come yet. I'm not Bill Gates a candidate, so
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Then Maharaj, what about Krishna?
very great. My battery is going down. I don't have lights.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So then, maybe we may ask the devotees to unmute, and then we chant Hare Krishna, express our appreciation and love for Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Hare Rama.
Gopal ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaura
Jai, Israel Bhakti,
Krishna.
Damodara Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
Jai Ho.
Sadhu Premanandi,
Uh,
Jai Radhe. Maharaj ki jai.
all glories to His Holiness.